It's Friday morning. Good morning, Store Nation. So, what I want to do today is talk about something that I've been learning about on AJ Osborne's podcast, Self Storage Income, I think it is, and also it's in the mastermind that I'm in America, and they're talking about that. They're talking about what the REITs are doing, and then I'm like, holy shit, we're already doing that, and that's it's not just by luck or whatever, but that's what we've seen in the market as well. And that's what we've been doing. And we've been doing that for a number of different reasons, but it's really working for us. And I wanted to go through that as well, because if it's working in America, it'll work here. And so what we've got to do is they're so far ahead of us in terms of self-storage and how to run self-storage facilities. Unfortunately, that is true. We can learn a lot from the other side of the pond. And if a REITs are doing it, if AJ Osborne's doing it, then we need to sit up and take note. And if we're doing it as well, you need to sit up and take note. So we were already doing it because of a strategy that we're using at the minute. So we're going to go through that, exactly what it is. So the strategy is very, very simple. And do you know what? You can make it sound bad. But it's kind of like insurances for your cars. Basically, how an insurance works is that they give you a headline offer for the first year. It might be, whatever it is, but it'd be really super competitive. How they make their money, the insurance companies do, is they make their money on your laziness, just like self-storage. So most people cannot be asked to shop around for year 2 for the insurance, and they just stay with the same insurance company. And so the insurance company makes money on the year 2 principal, on that money there, on that insurance value, because it will dramatically go up from year 1, because they know most people, or a lot of people, cannot be bothered to look online, ring around, and will probably stay for the 2nd and 3rd and 4th year. And so if they don't make the money up front on the initial principal, on the initial insurance cover, they make it on the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th, because they increase the prices for the current customers. And it seems the most bizarre business model that you've ever seen. Sky do this as well. New customers get a better deal than old customers. And if you tell Sky you want to leave, then guess what? You get a 50% off to get you to stay. To get you to stay. And it sounds silly. It sounds stupid. It's everything that I've been against growing up as a business owner. We're supposed to look after our existing customers, our current customers. And it's called grandfathering them into prices. So in every other industry that I've been in, we always look after our stable stars. I used to call them for my betting guy software. I would always grandfather you into that price, meaning that price would not change. There you go. If you're locked in, the earlier you came with me, the cheaper your price. And we would increase prices to new members, and then we'd lock them in. And then we'd increase prices for new members, and then we'd lock them in, and it would happen like that. So if you've been a member for 2 years, guess what? Your price is going to be a lot cheaper than somebody who's just come in. But in self-storage, in Sky, in insurance, it's flipped upside down. One of my business coaches, James Franco, cannot believe this business model. He doesn't like it because he always says that you look after your current customers, you look after your existing customers. But that's not true anymore in self-storage. You always look after your customers. But what you're doing is your price you are displaying in America right now, what the REITs are doing is that they're displaying a price. And that price, my friends, isn't the price that they really want to charge. That's called the street rate. The sign rate, I don't know. I call it street rate anyway, and that's what the Americans call it. So that's the street rate. That's the price that they get you in at. But then what they do is they do revenue management. So now their street rate is a lot cheaper than it used to be, because what they need to do, what they want to do, is get filled up. They need to compete with other people. Other people are discounting prices. But what other people aren't doing, the mums and pops and the smaller companies aren't doing the correct revenue management, so they aren't getting the correct price per square foot. And so what the REITs are doing, and what AJ Osborne's doing, is they're lowering their prices for the street price. So when people see the price online, it's a lower price. And then what they're doing is they're using clever revenue management tactics. And there's loads of different revenue management tactics out there. I haven't got time in this podcast to go through it all. It'd take hours, but there's loads of different ways and means you can increase prices. And so afterwards, after maybe 3 months, then they're starting to increase their prices, because the idea is that they have to get that price up to a certain level, price per square foot, whatever it may be, whatever their aims and goals are, it isn't the same aims and goals as it isn't the same price as they came in at. So for argument's sake, they might have come in at £15 per square foot, but what they need to do is get up to £22 per square foot in a year. So they might have a price increase after 3 months. They might have a price increase after, and another price increase after 12 months. But whatever happens, they will get that customer's price to that £24 per square foot or whatever they need to, whatever their goal is, whatever their, not break-even point, but whatever they set their targets at. And so the goal is simple: lower street rates, but more aggressive revenue management. I personally love this way, because what we've got to do now is, and by the way, the more and more competitive it gets, the more you'll have to do this. But what will set apart the very, very, very profitable operators and the people who are just getting by in future will be your revenue management. How good are you at revenue management? And we all know the data. When people come in self-storage, they store their stuff for longer than expected. And so therefore, they use self-storage for longer than expected. And so that's why we can put offers on, etc. And some people in America, what they do, depending on your postcode, depending on your location, if you live 100 miles away, you'll get a bigger price increase than somebody who lives 5 miles away, because it's harder for that person who lives 100 miles away than it is for that person who lives 5 miles away. For me, that's a little bit too aggressive. I'm not down on that. But if that's the way you need to do it and want to do it, that's your business. You have to do what you have to do. I don't do that yet. I'm not saying I'll ever do it, but I don't do it now. I don't think I'll ever do it. I just don't think I'm on board, because that really, I don't know. They basically do individual price increases for every different customer. It's an individual price increases dependent on who they are, where they're from. There's loads of different factors involved in their price increases. For me, I'm not down that route. I just do a job lot. So for us, we're having a meeting tomorrow. This is coming out Friday, but I'm recording this, we're having a meeting on Wednesday, and we're going to be more aggressive with price increases, because this is what we've been doing, because we've been displaying prices online. We need to be more competitive with our prices. So our prices to come into our self-storage have decreased, because why? If we're displaying our price online, we haven't got the chance to tell people why we're more expensive, why we're better. The website does a pretty good job at it, but it's still not perfect. It's still not as like talking to a person, because we can control the information that we tell them. On the website, we can't control what they read and what they don't. There's obviously little psychological things that we can do, tricks and bits and bobs. Not tricks is the wrong word, but how you can make them read from one line to the next, but you can't guarantee it. And so therefore, when people are comparing us to Armadillo, for example, Armadillo are going to be cheaper. And so we needed to discount our prices, because on the face of it, you're just comparing self-storage. And there's other self-storage facilities around the area where they're just comparing self-storage to self-storage. And so we can't be the standard. We can't be the most expensive by 50%. And so what do we need to do? We need to decrease our prices, but then our street prices, but then know that we're going to be doing stronger revenue management than most people. Why? Because we're a better location. Our costs are more. Our rent is more. Why? Because it's a better facility. The shop fits better. Everything's bloody better. And so therefore, that's why we charge more. So in a nutshell, my friends, think about this, because it will be coming to a town near you where the more competitive it gets, you will have to lower your street rate, unfortunately. And what sets the winners, the real winners in self-storage from the normal operators, is your revenue management. How are you doing your revenue management? And so for us, we're talking about increasing prices now after 3 months. 3 months, you get a 12% increase. And then after 9 months after that, we could even be more aggressive on that. And so at the minute, unless my team can talk me out of it, it's going to be 3 months, 12% increase. 9 months, 12% increase. 9 months after that, 12% increase. So every 9 months, basically. So it's like 3, 9, 12. That's what we're doing, structure, if you like, for our revenue management. And yes, there is going to be a cap, but I don't yet know what cap. In terms of cap, I mean, like if you're paying £200 a month, then we don't want to increase. We maybe, let's say you're paying £500 a month, we probably won't increase your £50 a month, because that seems an awful lot. Yes, I know it's 10%, but it seems too much. So there's got to be a cap on how much we increase people's prices on a monthly basis. But other than that, that is something to think about. Revenue management is crucial. It is key. If I wouldn't have done revenue management, I promise you, I wouldn't have the ability to open up more stores because the numbers just don't make sense. The numbers do not make sense when you're opening a self-storage facility at the crazy, crazy rates that people are showing now. £16 per square foot. Jesus, I looked at an area the other day. It was £9 per square foot. £9 fucking pound per square foot. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Unbelievable. You just cannot compete. You cannot open a self-storage at that price. So revenue management is key, my friends. And yeah, we'll be releasing all sorts of data on this, exactly what happens, how it happens. But we know from previous data, previous information, that people just do not, or very, very few people move out because of a price increase. It's not a direct correlation between people moving out and when they got the price increase. So it's really interesting, something I'm really passionate about. And it's, when I talk to people about it, some people say, well, isn't it wrong because you're penalizing people for staying with you? I said, no, what we're actually doing is, that's the true price we wanted to charge people. We wanted to charge them £24 per square foot. But because of the way people are, it's a race to the bottom, they're getting a cheaper rate first of all, and then we're only over time going to get them to the normal rate they should be paying. So that's my thoughts on it, guys. Hopefully, well, you guys found it some sort of beneficial interest. Think about it over the weekend, because revenue management, my friends, is critical to success in the self-storage industry, and it will only become more and more and more and more and more important as time goes on, my friends. All right, speak to you soon. Love you. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend. Bye.